Hi everyone, so welcome back to our channel that is Generative Mind AI. So I am going to come up with the new topic that is MLOps, Machine Learning Operation. There will be lot of videos that's related to the MLOps. So this is the going to be the first episode, the first video where we will just talk about the MLOps, the concept behind the MLOps, the uses, the key points, and why we jump to the MLOps. So we are going to come up with this, and then after we will start with the jump up with the real coding part. We will upgrade some AWS SageMakers EC2 machine, and we'll go with variety of things to make you understand how we can just set the everything environment, end-to-end pipeline, the way we can start the training. You don't automate the training, you don't have to go manually and trigger the training part, whether it is a testing part or whether it is a deployment first. So for that reason the MLOps has been come into the picture. So let's start with the really the basic thing, that is the introduction. So MLOps introduction is basically, we can say it, we already know that MLOps in the short form we say, and it's going to be a machine learning operation. So it is a set of practices that aim to integrate machine learning system into a broader process and the workflow of an organization. So basically means that some organization, every organization wants their projects, wants their models, whichever the model they are building for the machine learning, or whether it is going to be any deep learning models, they want to automate the process. They don't want to go and manually every time start the process whenever there is a change in the code, or whenever there is a added any extra data sets, so that you are just going to increase some accuracy. Again, you need to set up the system for the training part, and again once your model has been trained, then after you are going to verify whether this model is giving you the good accuracy than of the what previous model we have. If it is going to give you bit good accuracy, then after you are going to give this whichever you have the training waste to the production side, and the production side is responsible for deployment and everything. So this is what the broader picture it is, how we can automate this process, how we can just say it manually, like everything will be start from the beginning, and then after is going to come at the end of the deployment without even interfere of us whenever we are adding any extra data, whenever we are changing the code. Automatic this is going to become automatic, the trainings will be start, the automatic the models will run the testing validation, and if the model is going to give the real good accuracy, automatic is going to go in the deployment phase. So this is the process to automate this all thing. We come with the logic that we call as an MLOps. And second best reason about the MLOps is that you can able to control the version. So version basically means that once you have started the training, suppose you are just going to go with the image classification. Okay, so image classification, you have a binary classification like cat and dog, and now that is you already have some data. Now again you want to increase the accuracy, you will either go with the building more complex model, or you will go some more data augmentation part, or then you will go with the adding more data set. Clear? Now you will set with the newer version, that is the second version. You will start everything from the scratch, and you will train the model, you will get some accuracy. Clear? So like the previous one is version 1, that this is the version 2. Even you can roll back whatever you have make the change in your model system. You say this model is not giving the good accuracy, the previous one was giving a better accuracy with the same whenever we are increasing a data. Okay, even the data set has been increases, the previous model is giving you the better accuracy, not the current model. For that reason, you can able to, you have that compatibility that you can switch the version from one version to another version. That is the plus point about the what MLOps is going to be come into picture. We will see this thing in really in the all upcoming videos. We'll go with the hands-on about the AWS usage and how we can just use the utilization of MLOps. You will go with the code commit, code deploy, code build, SageMaker, EC2, CloudWatch to see everything how it's going to good. So, and we will go with the even the some real world some projects. So this all thing we are going to cover in the upcoming videos. Clear? So this video is going to be introduction part. This is not going to be a really a depth in the AWS. So in the next video from onwards, we will start with the building the AWS. So I hope so you just come up the introduction part, like what's the MLOps, and the main goal of the MLOps is to stream the deployment, monitoring, management of the machine learning model in a systematic and automated way, which we already discussed. So we want to build build something like MLOps or machine learning system that can automate. We can just monitor once we start the training. We see each and everything. Suppose you have, I will give you one example. You are building one image classification model, and in that image classification model, what you want, you have built basically you have suppose binary classification, that is a cat versus dog. Clear? So you have a data pre-processing part, you will have a training part, then after you will have a validation part, so once then after you will have some deployment part. Clear? So now you want to automate this process. Once you are able to build a MLOps system, so any either you are changing any code, like any you are just changing any code, or you're building some large model, or you're just modifying the number of layers whenever you're working on the CNN part or any deep learning or machine learning models, you are just changing some parameters, or even you are adding some data, automatic triggers will happen, automatic trainings will be start, automatic testings will be start, automatic this models will judge whether the current accuracy is going to give you the better accuracy than of the previous one. Clear? This all thing come into picture of automate the process. So this is the plus point of using the MLOps, and we'll see this thing really interesting thing in whenever we'll jump into the AWS part. Clear? So we'll just go with some key points, important key points before jumping to the main parts. The first point is the collaboration between data science and operation. So data scientist basically means that you are going to collaborate between two teams. The one is basically the data scientist team, and the second team is basically the operation team. So data scientist team is going to be responsible. Suppose you are building again image classification model, you will have some plan that which model you are going to use, how many layer you are going to set, which loss function you will have. That is going to be a plan. The second part, you are going to develop that. Once you have a plan, you are just going with the development first. Once you are able to develop that thing, you are going to start the training, and then after whatever the accuracy you are getting, you will go with the testing part. You will have also the test data set. Clear? So once you are able to get this thing, so this is the role of the data scientist. Now the second thing, operation team is only responsible for deployment part, deployment, monitoring, testing in the real scenario. So whether it is going to give you a really good accuracy in the real scenario than of what it was giving for the current validation or testing data set. Clear? So now these two teams are going to be work in the one same things and same project. Even they are going to work on same project, but they are going to work in the same phase. So it's both the team is collaborating with each other. So once you are adding any data, or you are going to add any extra layers, or you are modifying some models, so automatic everything is going to be processed. And then after once it is start the training and testing, and if it is that way it is sending to the deployment phase, then operation team is only responsible to monitor how the thing is going to work, whether this current weight is giving you the better accuracy, or it was the previous checkpoint was giving you the better accuracy. Clear? So this again is going to be really the most important thing about the MLOps. Clear? So this is the first thing what we are going to see about the MLOps. So MLOps is going to be responsible for collaboration between the data science and the operation. Clear? So this is going to be happen. So now the second part is going to be, we'll discuss about continuous integration and continuous deployment. Clear? So this is basically a CI/CD pipeline. I hope so. Whenever you start the MLOps, you will see about the CI/CD, continuous integration and continuous deployment, how we are able to achieve. Again, in the previous slide, we already discussed we will have two teams. That is a data scientist team that is responsible for building in some machine learning models, and the second team is going to be the deployment team that is responsible for deployment, monitoring, and everything. So that is what we call it in CI and CD. So continuous integration and continuous deployment. So this is the principle to automate the end-to-end process of model deployment, testing, development, and the monitoring phase. Okay, so this helps ensure that change to the model can roll out quickly and reliable. Okay, so whatever, again I'm just saying version, we already explained in the previous slide that how we can just switch to the version. Even you are just increasing a data, say the previous model was giving you the better accuracy, then you can roll back, you can switch to that system and using the current data. So that flexible you have in the MLOps. So this is the version control, and again we'll discuss about the version control for the models, and this is going to be really the most important thing is that, so similar to all the code version whichever you are using as a GitHub, GitLab, anything, so you can even control the version in the MLOps, and this is going to be really the plus point in the MLOps is that you will have the version control. If you can easily switch to the models, you can easily go with the whatever the change you have done in the model, and you will get that some accuracy with this logs file and this all thing. You will have all the version file. Okay, so you can even switch to the any version whichever you is giving you the better result. So this is going to be the plus point in the version control for the model. So this helps us to track changes, reproduce results, and manage the model in variation over time. Clear? Now we'll jump with the model monitoring and the management. Again, it is going to be again automatic or automated part, and this is going to be looked by the which team, basically the operation team. So operation team is going to be responsible. Once you are able to train your models, it's giving a fine really 99% accuracy something in the testing data set. But again, your operation team is going to look some, again bringing some real world scenario, real world data set, and then after some time, after 6 months, 1 year, you will say that that model is not giving you the better accuracy even it was giving previous. Then might be there is change in the data set in the environment that we call as a model drifting. This all thing we'll understand this thing in the later on. So we will have the plus point is that you will have easily model monitoring and management. You will have CloudWatch and everything. We'll just explain in the AWS how we are able to see this thing. So MLOps include the tools and practices for the monitoring model performance and the health in the real time. Okay, so this involves tracking matrices, detection anomalies, and triggering alerts whenever model deviate from the expected behavior. And again, we will see about how we can again set some alarm system so that even you are utilizing more number of resources, how you can that alarm system is going to trigger that you are utilizing more number of resources, your budget is going to be high. So this all thing again is going to be help in the MLOps category. And then again the this is going to be again the most important key points and the concept, that is automate testing for the model. Again, we know that automatic testing for the model is a part of operation team. Now operation team is able to figure out, like software developer undergoing testing part, MLOps include the automatic testing for the machine learning model to validate their accuracy, robustness, and compatibility with the different environments. So they are going to check, that is basically responsible for the automated team, that is operation team. And now scalability and the resource management is again going to be really important factor, because once you are using an MLOps concept in the AWS, or whether you are using Azure or GCP. Okay, so mostly I will go with the AWS. So in the AWS you will have some flexibility to scale your machine learning workflow. Either you can just jump to the if suppose you are just building some small model like machine learning model, and you need only small you don't need any large system, or you don't need large resource to train that model. For that, what you will just do, you will just jump with the small kind of model. You will have that kind of flexible to switch between different type of resources. So it can be benefit once you are just training for the small resources, you will have low budget, but whenever you have large data set, whenever you will have large model, at that time you are just jumping into higher resources like ML 4x large. We will see everything micro, medium, large, extra large. So we'll see this all thing in the real details. So this is the power of MLOps, and I hope so you understand each and everything about the concept, why we are using MLOps, the key concept behind the using the MLOps. In the next video, we are going to see how you can set up the system for the AWS, how you can set up the accounts in the AWS, and we'll see it in the next video. I hope so you like this video. Please subscribe my channel. Thank you.